こんにちは。私はアンドリューです。これは日本語のレッスン3です。カタカナ。Hi everyone, this is Andrew again. This is my third lesson in my Japanese tutorial series, Katakana. So Katakana is a Japanese syllabary, similar to say hiragana, but Katakana is used primarily for for foreign loan words. So words of a foreign origin. For example, hamburger, or ice cream, icecream. It's also used for other things such as scientific words, to add emphasis, or sometimes company names like, Ferrari or whatever. And also for like names, like people's names. So my name, Andrew, Andoryu, or Cameron, Cameron. They're all written in katakana. It's probably comparable to say how we use italics in English. So it kind of adds emphasis to a word. Okay, let's get started. So just as there are 5 vowel sounds in hiragana, there are the same in katakana. So they are a, I, U, E, O, A, I, U, E, O. So you can probably notice that katakana is kind of a bit sharper and more, it's got more corners and stuff than hiragana. Hiragana is quite smooth, it's quite rounded. For example, a hiragana a is very round, sort of, or an e, it's got more roundness to it, whereas katakana is very sharp and pointy. Okay. So let's go on to the next row, the ka. So ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. So ka, ki, ku, ke, ko. After that is the sa line. Sa, shi, su, se, and so. Sa, shi, su, se, so. Sa, shi, su, se, so. Now if you remember from hiragana, we can use ten, which is like 2 little dashes, which changes the pronunciation. So we can do that in katakana too. So if we just we'll erase the K for each of these. Do you remember what K goes to? So we add a 10 to each of these, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, and they become ga, gi, gu, ge, go. Likewise for sa, shi, su, se, so, we can change their sound using 10. So za, remember she goes to ji, zu, ze, zo. Za, ji, zu, ze, zo. Okay. Next line, the ta line. ta, chi, tsu, ta, chi, tsu, te, to. Now you'll notice that this tsu, tsu kind of looks like she, doesn't it? So just as a note, she. Maybe I wrote the wrong stroke order there. She looks like that, whereas tsu looks like that. Slight difference. It's based on where you start your stroke and slightly different angle. So if you're starting from the top here, it's a tsu. If you're starting from the bottom, it's a she. It gets you can easily get mixed up. I found that most people find katakana slightly harder than hiragana, even though it's meant to be a simpler script. There's too many similarities, so it becomes a bit confusing at times, even for me. Okay. Just get rid of them. Okay, so ta, chi, tsu, te, to. Okay, after that is the na line. So na, ni, nu. Na, ni, nu is, yeah, that's right. Na, ni, nu, ne, and not. So not has it's just a single diagonal line starting from the top. So na, ni, nu, ne, no. Na, ni, nu, ne, no. Okay. The ta line can also use 10-10 to change pronunciation. Do you remember what they become? Ta line becomes a D sound, so da. Chi, they don't really say D, it's more of a G sound, G. Tsu becomes Z. Z, and te becomes de. To becomes do. So da, ji, zu, de, do. You can't put 10-10 on na, so that can't be modified. So the na, ni, nu, ne, not can't be modified. Righto. Next line is the ha. The ha line. So ha, hi, fu, ha, hi, fu, he, ho. Ha, hi, fu, he, ho. Ha, hi, fu, he, ho. You'll see that the he, katakana he and hiragana he are pretty much identical. Okay, and then after that is the ma. Ma, mi, mu, me, mo. Ma, mi, mu, me, mo. Katakana mo looks very similar to hiragana mo. So hiragana mo is kind of more rounded, but they're very similar. So yeah, it adds to the confusion a little bit, doesn't it? Right, now the ha line can be modified with 10-10 as well as maru to go to two different sounds. Two different, I guess, similar sounds. So using 10-10, ten. Oops. We get a B sound. So, ba, bi, bu, be, bo. Ba, bi, bu, be, bo. And if we use a maru instead, maru, remember maru just means circle. Maru, maru, maru. Pa, pi, pu, pe, po. Pa, pi, pu, pe, po. Mami, mu, me, mo. Great. The next row is the ya. The ya line. You'll see ya looks fairly similar to hiragana ya. It's a bit sharper, I guess. Ya, remember there is no yi. There's a u, ya, u, yo. Yo kind of looks like a backwards E, doesn't it? Ya, u, yo, ya, u, yo. Remember they can be used, a small ya, u and yo can be used to modify sound a bit more, which we'll look at shortly. It's the same as hiragana. Okay, and then there's the ra line. Ra, ri, ru, ra, ri, I, ru, re. Do re again. Re, ra, ra, ri, ru, re, ra. Ri looks pretty much identical to the hiragana ri, doesn't it? The others are not very similar. Ra, ri, ru, re, ra. Good. And next, there's just a couple more lines. There's the wa line. It's a funny wa. Wa. Remember wa, it's only got two. There's wa and wa, but what? How do they do what? It's very rarely, it's very rarely used what, I found. What? Something like that. Wa and what. Remembering, this is pronounced o. So it's an o sound. When do they use that wa? That hiragana wa? Katakana wa. In hiragana, o is pretty much only used as a particle, an object marker, and I believe in katakana it's probably the same too. Maybe they use it as the particle when they can't write the hiragana for whatever reason. So maybe it's a substitute, a fill-in for the hiragana o. And the last line is the n. Sorry, that's a hiragana. N. Yes. So the n sound is the only consonant-only sound. Okay, now we'll get on to sort of compound katakana. That's where we use small ya, u, and yo. So there's kya, q, kya, q, kyo. Kya, q, kyo. And the sha. Sha, shu, and sho, And both of these rows can be modified. So let's do that. Kia, gyu, gyo, kya, gyu, gyo, and ja, ju, jo, ja, ju, jo. Right, next we've got cha. Cha, chu, and cho, cha, chu, cho, and nya, nya, new, nyo, nya, new, nyo. The cha line can be modified. With 10-10. It becomes kind of a J sound. So ja, ju, jo. Don't know how common it is, but it can be modified. Ja, ju, jo. Right, next is the he line. So here, hu, hyo, hya, hu, hyo. And we'll do the mi line. Mia, mu, myo. Oh, sorry. My penmanship is getting very sloppy. Mia, mu, myo. You may remember that the he row can be modified with 10-10 and maru. So if we do the 10-10, we'll get, let's do that again. Bia, bu, bio, bia, bu, bio. And if we use the maru, pia, pu, pio, pia, pu, pio. Great. Okay, only a couple lines left. There's ria, ryu, bio. So ria, ryu, bio, ria, ryu, bio. So I think that's it. Yes, it is. Ria, ryu, bio. Now, there's a couple other things that we can do in katakana. There's the small tsu. So remember in hiragana, small tsu kind of doubles up the consonant sound that follows. So there's a Japanese brand called Pocky. Maybe you've heard of it. I guess in English it's just written Pocky. In katakana they write So that's pot with a small tsu, with a ki, and this line thing. You may have seen it. Okay, first of all, that's a pot. Now this little tsu doubles up the consonant sound that follows it, so pokkii. And this line extends the vowel sound. The line simply extends the vowel sound. So pokkii, pokkii. Very cute sort of name, I guess, in Japanese. Pocky. Okay, what's another? I'll try to think of some other. I'll try to think of some other loan words that use some strange katakana. Oh yeah, there's a word. The word for party is often just said. Well, they do have a Japanese word for party, or a gathering or whatever, but they often do use the English word party. So, what am I running a cheat? So, tea. So party. So it's using these extender lines. So pa. Now this chi with an e is an attempt to pronounce t. Party. Party. Okay. Oh yes, I thought of another one. Fax. As in a fax machine. They usually use a fu with a small a, and that's like kind of an imitation of fa. So fakusu sounds a bit rude, doesn't it, in English? Do ku again. Fakusu. I think that's how it's written. Fakusu. Fakusu. I know fax machines aren't used that often anymore, but they weren't often used when I first went to Japan. Sorry, they weren't often used in Australia when I went to Japan, but they were used a lot in Japan. Lots of offices used them, so I got used to saying fakusu. And then you can have companies that, like Ford, for example, the Ford Motor Company. It uses a small, like a fu with a small o. Foodo. 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 I guess the key is when you see a sound followed by a little vowel, just use the first letter of this. So for example, this is fu, this is fu. You just use the F sound followed by the vowel sound, the small vowel sound, so it makes an FO sound. Foodo. There's probably so many examples. Every foreign company, every foreign name will have manipulations of this. So just be aware that there'll be the ones that you've probably never seen. I still encounter ones that are a bit obscure. Like, for example, try a different colour. Hang on. They sometimes use the U character with 1010. And if you'd never seen it, you'd have no idea what it means. It's to attempt a V sound. So if you see an U with a 1010 and say a small E, that's an attempt to say V. So I don't know, maybe Vienna or something might use this. So yeah, if you see an U with 1010, it's trying to imitate a V sound. So there might be other examples such as Va, Vi. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but yeah, just a note that there will be sort of odd usages of katakana to try to imitate foreign sounds. It's probably a fairly modern thing. I think traditionally they tended to just use sort of the traditional way of doing it, but recently there's been lots and lots of this sort of thing happening. Okay, well that's katakana in a nutshell. Hopefully you can get something from that. It's pretty important to learn. Any sort of menu in almost any restaurant will have some katakana, and especially Western restaurants such as McDonald's or whatever, they'll have lots and lots of katakana. Probably if they're Western restaurants, they'd also have romaji, so you could probably read it, but it's still a good idea to know how to do katakana. I'd recommend learning hiragana first and then followed by katakana, but I know some teachers do it the opposite way. Either way, it's best to know both of them, at least be able to read katakana. Okay, great. Thanks for that.